Morning. Alright, well, we got the air seeder, the little 40-foot air seeder unhooked from the 370. And we're gonna get this off the trailer. We're all unchained, so back up to it, hook it up, pull it off. There we go. We'll get it out of the driver's way. He's actually gonna hook up his gooseneck and then leave the trailer here because he has to wait for it. So he's gonna run into town, he said, and just hang out for a few days while we do our thing with it, test it out, shoot some video of it.
Morning. Well, I noticed a mid-roll bander out here not turning, so usually it's a rock stuck in them. And let's see, which one is it? Yep, there it is. A really good finger pincher if you're not careful. There we go. It's loose. All right, I went and let the discs down. Still hard to kind of get in there.
Back at the shop. I was over west, got Tony filled up, but I have a little bit of barley left to clean, so we'll go clean some barley. Well, sometimes things go so smooth you can't believe it, and sometimes things don't go so smooth and you can't believe it. Like this guy, for example. I was cleaning the last 250, 300 bushels of barley. Started hearing a thumping in this. This was the clean barley going into the semi. Saw the bearing was going out. After I finished, I used the bearing puller to get that off. And you can kind of see inside there some of what I was fighting against. The bearing came off just as easy with the torch. Even on the shaft in the pillow block, I ended up cutting the bearing out. Got it out, cleaned up. Amy and the girls are actually in town today, so they're gonna be picking up another bearing. I'm waiting because there's a bunch of junk down in behind there. This shaft is, I mean, I can put my hand on it, but not for long. Not gonna catch on fire anymore. I've been kind of taking my time to make sure that nothing spontaneously combusted. I did pour some water back in there to make sure nothing's smoldering, nothing smells. So I think I'm good to go. I'll head back and see where they need me. Over west, where Tony is still seeding mustard. Last I knew, Warren was spraying, and we'll go from there.
With the bees. All right, there's my saddle tank full of, well, not full anymore, mustard seed. We're just getting down to the very bottom. Watch out the camera. This is a variety we're doing for the Cahill seeds. Wanted a side-by-side trial with this variety and our other yellow mustard variety. So just about done with that. Then we will switch out and do the rest of this field with the other varieties. Looks like it just ran out. Down and see the auger flight down there. All right, let's put some more in. And now we gotta go switch back to our other mustard. There it is. We just loaded the Super Bees into the air drill so Tim can run up, get some more fertilizer. We gotta go get going with this fertilizer spreader. There goes Tim heading to the fertilizer plant to load up on the urea to spread on the winter wheat. Well, technology is great when it works, but it'll work. They're gonna run to town with the monitor and get the software settings put in there so that it'll actually see the spreader software in the monitor for the tractor. So we'll be back to that. We're gonna go get the mustard seed going. Mustard seed is in, and Tim is gonna hop in and start seeding. Seeded the outside round for him, seeded around the tree. Hasn't had much big air seeder driving experience yet, so away he goes. Yeah, don't really ever get to see it from this angle, so this will be fun.
Should I tell Tony what I'm doing? I'm just kidding. Alright, so getting comfortable, more comfortable, I guess. Pretty basic. I'm not doing a whole bunch of tricks. I'm just doing back and forth stuff right now. Still seeding canola. Tony is overworking on Amazon fertilizer spreader. So he put me in this so we could get some more acres in. English must be very hard language. I've been speaking it for 45 years now and it's still struggle. Anyway, I'm just basic back and forth on a half section. He did it out around while he was explaining it to me. Things have been going pretty smoothly. I have a couple hoses plugged, no big deal. The intelligent egg blockage monitor picked that right up for me, so that was nice.
Well, we have it pretty well figured out. We're still missing GPS on the tractor side we got GPS signal, we just can't steer. So doing it old school and picking my spot to go. But Mark is here from Amazon. And what's your position and like what do we do today?
Yep, so I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for the USA. Today we're spreading here in Montana. I'm spreading a blend of urea, potash, and ammonium sulfate, 120 feet. Could have done this one up to 150, decided to do the 120. A little bit of a wind and all that stuff, so.
Yeah, we're getting the winter wheat covered, and the spreader's got quite a bit of cool features where it's got tons of sensors all over it, so it knows how far it's really throwing. It's got a wind detector on it, so it changes the rate for side to side, or changes the spinner speed to compensate for that. And what else does it do?
Argus sensors on the back, watching the spread pattern throughout the day as the pattern changes in the density of products. Let's make sure the right pattern that we set is keeping up throughout the day. It's got weigh cells built into it, so on this machine we have the 4 weigh cells reading online, making sure the set rate of 160 pounds is what's really going out. And it's also got torque sensors built into it to make sure that that same rate also is going out. Section control with this today, we're not making sure we're not overlapping, so we got it set at 16 sections with the Pro 700.
Yeah, all ran through the VT. We had a little trouble getting the VT set up with the right software, but we got that fixed to the dealership for the tractor side, and it's been working good. So we're already on our 4th load.
4th load, since we got running about 2 o'clock, with 208.7 acres out.
There comes a speed bump in the field, whole driveway. So we're spreading up to 20 miles an hour and at 160 pounds per acre. We're not even at the limit.
No.
There's still room to go, but I'm not going to drive the tractor any faster than that in the field. So we'll get to the end, we'll do a quick little walk around and look at the spreader so you guys should see all the different deals on the back, and then we'll talk about how we got the machine set up for us too with using their app. Well, Amazon reached out to us and asked if we were interested in doing a demo for them to show you guys, and then they're doing some filming for it too while they're here. But this came from North Star Egg. They hooked us up with a bunch of shirts and hats and stuff. But yeah, this is a spreader. It's a 10-ton, and it's a sprinter spreader, which the boom guys will say does not do what a boom machine will do, but with all these sensors he's talking about, all sorts of different stuff. He'll get out here in a second and we'll go over what all this is and sell the advantage of this versus the old standard spinners. The standard old style spinner is just a fan with the paddles on it, or a disc with paddles on it.
Yep.
What is different about this?
So a lot of those, the rate is controlled by the chain. chain drops fertilizer right onto the spinners and it gets thrown. Different this is, we have the large hopper back here. This one's job is to keep this back distribution hopper full at all times. And there, it's where the fertilizer goes from our left and our right side. So we actually can variable rate. If I need to put 200 pounds, 300 pounds over here, and as the fertilizer falls, this shutter right here is gonna open or close with this actuator to control my rate. So variable rate and stuff, opening and closing, all that. And all the fertilizer falls directly onto the spreader vane. Actually, it's not bottom pan. The hole right here is kind of prove that, but also to empty the machine. So my fertilizer falls directly onto the vane as it gets thrown out. That way we're not pulverizing it and it stays in good consistency.
So basically, this is just a hopper dropping onto an actuated gate. This is your shut-off gate, and then that's opening up and controlling how much product's going out.
Yes, so that is just a back smaller hopper. It's called a distribution hopper. Keeps the fertilizer here stored from the left and right. It's gonna open and close before it drops.
Gotcha. Cool. Trying to think of what other questions they might have, but
no, we talked about the Argus sensors in the cab. We have 7 radar sensors on both sides. So what they're doing is they're watching the spread pattern behind the machine. As consistency changes, if it gets heavy, wet, it'd be thrown farther out. What they're gonna do is they're gonna watch the pattern throughout the day and change this bowl where it rotates above the spinners so accuracy stays right behind the machine.
Yep. And then when you set up the machine, you got your phone out. Yep. And we went through the products that were in the mix.
Yep.
And it told us what rate, how wide we could go with that, and all that kind of stuff.
Try to see it on your...
And then it actually told us how to set the machine up in the monitor.
Probably lost my internet though, but fertilizer, easy mix. I hit add a spraying procedure. Here we're able to tell 160 pounds per acre. TS30 vanes is what we have on the machine, right there. And then gives me options for my working with. So if we want to do 80 to 150, today we chose 120. I hit continue. It actually shows me the compatibility of those 3 products together. And the most optimal drop point for the consistency to throw.
Cool. It's a lot different than trying to figure out the old school spreaders.
Yeah.
The spinners.
So test lab over in Germany gets us, we test a lot of the products, we throw them in a big controlled test lab and gets our settings for all the product.
Cool.
Okay, according to the statistics, I have 16.2 acres remaining and only 13 acres of seed left. And not much left in the tank, according to the camera. So Warren is on his way. I think we're just gonna take enough in 5-gallon buckets out of a 1,000-pound sack in order to fill that, so we don't have to pull it back out, because I believe we're switching to peas next. And here comes my seed delivery. Thanks, Warren.
Well, the guys from Amazon are already Amazon, not Amazon, one of the two. They're gone, and we have a 515 acre spread now. Really cruising along, it's going at 20 mile an hour. Does a good job. Show you guys the machine a little bit, I guess. Comes with a little aluminum ladder. Won't rust that way, I guess. A little bit of product left. So there's a belt in the center that pulls it back just like a typical spreader. And then the spinner. Let's go look at the back. Then when it gets back to here, this is a flow indicator that shows how much product's coming back in here. And then it splits off into these 2 cones. It's kind of what Mark was talking about earlier, how those cones come down. This opens a gate and then it spins from there. So there's all these radars he was talking about. I'm not sure. The wind indicators up front, that pops up and down automatically when you start running. So all in all, pretty cool machine. I wish this was mounted on my Rogator, but it's not. So I got my chute remote in here for the truck, and I'm watching in the mirror. The CVT transmission on this tractor works really good to fill it up nice and full. $85,000 pounds of product already through it, another 16,000 on again. You can get 20,000 on if we just get it perfectly full. So I'll go spread this. Dad will be back after a bit with another load of fertilizer, I think. Oh my goodness, I don't even have to steer anymore. Dad grabbed the antenna off the sprayer. Apparently this one's bad. Also grabbed his field view harness that hooks into the Case IH harness. instead of just going back here. And we got field view. Only 560 acres into the 1,600 acre spread, but it's working. So pretty cool. Well, that ended up not being too bad of an afternoon. I think we started around 3 o'clock. 922 acre spread. This thing is quite the productive machine. Alright, time to head home. Morning! Yeah, I just filled up the spreader this morning. Got over here, and the conveyor been warm because I forgot to shut it off last night, and it ran from 11 o'clock last night till 6:30 this morning. Whoops. Oh well. Some takeaways on that Amazon fertilizer spreader. Man, that thing is an awesome piece of equipment. It spreads, no problem, 120 feet. Problem, it was probably gusting 15, 20. The monitor will tell you if it's not getting far enough because of all those sonars and stuff or the radar sensors on there. So, really cool. Self-adjusting for the density of the fertilizer. So if there's bigger hard pieces or soft, you know, dust, whatever, it knows, and it takes care of how far it can throw. So I really want one. I just don't know if we have the acres to justify something like that when we got that Gator real cheap. But we might sell that Gator too. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. So if you're looking for a box spreader and considering booms, I would lean towards that Amazon. No booms to worry about hitting things off of, the maintenance that goes with them, the rust, so the extra hydraulics. But if you're looking for a fertilizer spreader, I would definitely look into one of those. I just gotta figure out how I can justify buying one for myself. So, alright, yeah, check them out. I went looking for them on Tractor House last night, and North Star Ag, who sent that demo over to us, has a lot of them in stock. So really good selection they have there of different sizes and whatnot. So go check them out, and thanks again Amazon for the demo. That was awesome.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. But don't forget, farm hard, pray harder. See you next video.